Okay, now that we've gone over the intro and some template setup, now we are going to go over briefly some architectural line work, and then how to create some layers, use some common commands, as well as move into modeling space versus paper space, modifying scale, and then also printing or printing to PDF. So we won't spend too much time on line work, but I will link the sheet in the description of the video for an example of line weights, line thicknesses relative to architectural drawings, also engineering drawings in AutoCAD with some example line weights, thicknesses, and properties as can be seen on this sheet and the typical application of those lines. Okay, so now that we have our shapes drawn, if you deleted them from one of the previous videos, one of the common commands is U, enter to undo. Otherwise, these are really just here for reference. You can draw any shape you want. So to get started with creating layers, I'm going to type in layer, and that'll bring up my properties. I like to have this fixed. Allow docking and anchor it to the right side of the screen, and it'll always be there when I hover over it. I can see all of my layers. Okay, so to create a new layer, I'll simply click on new layer, and I want to start with center line. I'm going to make it red. And then instead of continuous, I want it to be either a center line or you could do dash dot. So if you just type in, you can see dash dot. So I'm going to go OK. And I'll pick dash dot and hit OK. So now this line type will be dash dot. That'll be the pattern of the line. And you can also set the line weight. So for line weight, and again, the ones I've chosen, the ones I've put on the handout, they're not set in stone, but they are typical thicknesses that you'll want to stick to. Okay, and then there's also options for transparency if you wanted to make the line, not just a line weight, but also a transparency, like to screen it by 50%, 25%, 75%, you can set that here. And then you can also make it so it's print or not print. We want it to print. So we'll just set up another one quickly. You can call this object line. So object lines, as you know, nice and thick. Gonna make it blue. And we just want it to be continuous. And we'll make it nice and thick, 0.3 millimeters. Okay, another one quickly. We'll set up the hidden line. So hidden line, I'm gonna make it color 9, light gray. And I'll set that to 0. So, and also for hidden line or hatching lines, again, you might find it comes in handy to add a value to the transparency, or play with that, or you can just leave it at 0, 0. And oddly enough, that doesn't make the line invisible or have no thickness. It's just very, very fine. It's the finest line weight in AutoCAD. Okay, and you could set current to any one so that anything you draw now from this point on will be on that layer that you've picked. Another handy thing is if you go to the Home tab on the ribbon menu at the top, you can see the toolbox for layers. So you can see the layers that we just set up. So you can pick to switch between your current layer quickly here. Or you could select objects. They're all on layer 0. You could click here and put them all onto the object line or any other line of your choosing. Okay, so now I'm just going to demo some of the commands off the common AutoCAD commands sheet that I provided. I'll also link in the description. So aside from the ones we've already used to draw these shapes, I'm going to start off with rotate, RO, enter, take the shape and rotate it. the hatch command. The hatch command will help you fill, this is mostly used for when you're doing details, so wall sections or plan sections, basically showing how a building is put together. Also for presentation drawings, you could use the solid hatch command. So we'll just demo that one. It'll come in on whatever your current layer is. So in this example, my current layer is the object line. So again, you can see here it's by layer, which it should be. You're just going to click that object, click another object, and it'll fill those closed objects solid with whatever hatch pattern you pick. You can also mess with the transparency and some of the other properties, but for this example, we're just going to leave it at that. Okay, so the stretch command, S, enter. So now I'm going to take my fence and highlight over these two objects about halfway, and what that's going to let me do is basically stretch everything contained in this object. Every line segment that I've fully selected will maintain its geometry. However, the portions that the fence are over will be what's going to stretch. So if that doesn't make sense, hopefully it will in a second. So I'm going to double click or click the second point here, type enter, pick my objects, and then I'll pick my base point that I'm going to be stretching from. And you'll see the geometry is maintained for those pieces that were inside the fence, and I'm stretching based on the lines that were kind of on, in and out of the fence. Okay, and then just click there to stretch it. Okay, I'm going to delete these hatches. In the offset command, so O, enter. So what offset does is it creates concentric circles, parallel lines, parallel curves and lines based on your source object. So the first thing it's asking you to do is select an offset distance. So say that this was the walls of a house. In this case, it's a just small shape in inches. So let's say we want to create another set of lines half an inch outside of these ones. So I'm going to put in 0.5 for half an inch, and then I'm going to click my source object, and you'll see when I go to the outside, it'll automatically create another object. Because this is a polyline, it will automatically create another object all the way around on the outside, or if I hover along the inside, it'll give me a preview for the offset on the inside by half an inch. Again, whatever you say you want to offset by at the start of the command is what you will be offsetting by. And you can do this for single lines. In this case, again, it's a polyline, so it's going to offset the entire shape. Once you do that, maybe you wanted to get rid of some of the portions of that extra shape. So I'm going to hit PR, enter, and trim along some of these lines. Say get rid of the ones I don't want. I only want the ones in, the bottom right. Enter. Okay, so the fillet command, F, enter. And what fillet does, can join two objects at a corner, or you can also round a corner if there's something that's already connected. Again, these lines don't have to be connected. If there's an apparent intersection, it'll join those two lines at the apparent intersection. But also you can round a corner. If you look at the bottom here, we're going to go with radius. So you can type in R, enter, and say I want to round a corner, this corner, at 4 inches. So I've already got it there. I'm going to type in 4, enter, my first line, and then when I hover over my second line, you can see that it shows me how it's going to round that corner at a radius of 4 inches. Okay, and then F, enter again. Maybe we want to round the inside corner at 3.5 inches. Going to round the interior corner. Okay, the scale command in order to increase or decrease the scale of an item. So let's say we want to take this 6-inch radius circle and give it a new radius. We'll click the base point, and then you can see in the command line there's R for reference. We're going to R for reference, and then again we're going to specify the reference length. Again, we're doing the radius. We're going to say from the middle to the edge, which is 6 inches. But now you can see we can type in a new dimension for that reference to now be set to something else. So let's put it to 1.5 feet. You can see we made that circle now a radius of 1.5 feet. View, undo. Okay, I'm going to mirror these with select them first, MI, enter, mirror, and then it'll ask you if you want to keep them or not. We don't want to delete the source objects. I'm going to highlight them and change them or change them to object line. So another thing you can do is match. So MA to match properties. So this will now take the properties of this shape, which is on the center line, and these are on object line. You'll see you can quickly select them and they will quickly move from the object line layer that they were on to the source layer of the object you selected. Okay, so now I'm just going to delete those. Another handy one, zoom, enter. So in this case, I want to zoom everything that's in the drawing. So zoom, enter, and you see at the bottom the command line, A for all, and that will zoom in on everything I've drawn or everything I have drawing in model space. Okay, so speaking of model space, you notice that this is the first tab you're on, and then you have the layout tabs. So again, when you're drawing, you draw everything exactly as is in real life units. You don't scale anything up or down in model space. You can have your drawings here in inches. You could also have something the size of a house. So I'm going to put 40 feet. I'm going to put D for dimensions, 40 feet, enter, 60 feet. And again, zoom, enter, A, enter. So I've got everything drawn, showing. I'm going to rotate that with RO. So there I've got something that, very small shapes drawn in inches, and then I've got something that's about the size, the footprint of a average house. Okay, so again, when you're in model space, you want all of your drawings to be drawn exactly as is, no element of scale at all. Okay, so moving on from model space, you see we have two tabs at the bottom, layout 1, layout 2. So these are what are called paper space. So these are, again, you can have as many as you want. You can keep adding layouts, but these are basically virtual sheets of paper that designers use to set up drawings and set up drawings to scale. So I'm just going to take this one, rename it, and call it 8.5 by 11. So standard sheet of paper. Now I'm going to click on that, and you can see it's already showing the shapes that we have in our drawing, just at a random scale. So you can see this object out here. Again, this is what's called the viewport. So I'm going to change that to my viewport layer, which I also set up, and you could set up as well. The only thing you want to do is you want to make sure it's on the non-print, and AutoCAD again calls non-print plot. So you just click on this printer here, and that will make it non-print. Okay, so I'm going to click on my viewport now and set the scale. So if you wanted to set it up for, say, the house, you're going to have to pick a larger scale here. Oop, not that large. Maybe 1/8 equals a foot. So you can see that will fit my imaginary house, which is the blue box. We're calling that a house, just the footprint of a house. You can see it fits nicely. And as was mentioned in earlier videos, now you have this scale set up. You can go back to model space and set the same scale here for all your notes and dimensions so that they fit properly, whether you're metric or imperial. In this case, imperial, when you start adding those notations to your drawing. So again, I'm going to click back to paper space. And again, if we wanted to make a nice drawing fitting our shapes, you can kind of zoom in and get close to where those are, whether you use the zoom command or just the mouse. Get them in the center of the page, and we'll try around maybe 1/2 inch equals a foot. That's a little bit too. Okay, 1 inch equals a foot. So that's a little bit better. So you can kind of play with it until you get them to be a certain size that fits the page nicely. And again, keep in mind the scale you set here. You want to go back to model space and set it here before you start adding notes and dimensions, which again is mentioned in one of the earlier videos. But for this, just wanted to show how to navigate model space, paper space, just briefly go over some of these things. and scale, setting up the scale. So now that we've set up the scale and we've done our dimensions, we've done our notes, we want to set up for print. So you can do Control P, or you can click on the icon badge and go to Print, Plot, and this will pull up the print dialog box. Okay, so a couple things you want to make sure are set up. In our case, we want to set this for monochrome. Monochrome basically means everything's going to be printing out in grayscale, black to gray. And then you want to make sure your plotter or printer is Microsoft Print to PDF. Letter, we've set up the page for letter, so we should ideally print on that letter size. You can see there's other options here. So we're going to set up one for letter, and we're going to be printing the layout. We want to print 1:1, every inch equals 1 inch. Okay, and now with all those settings set, double check, and then you can hit apply to layout. If you hit OK, it will open up a dialog box that you can set where you're going to send the print, save it to your computer, and then you can upload it from your computer locally to Google Classroom. Okay, and now that we've set up this paper space layout for 8.5 by 11, I'm just going to delete that second one. And right click on our 8.5 by 11. I'm going to go to move or copy, move to end, create a copy, because I'm going to make one that is renamed to 11 by 17 inches, otherwise known as tabloid or ledger size. Enter. I'm going to click on that one. And the reason I copied it is it's going to copy over all the settings from the previous layout. So now when I right click on that, I'm going to go to plot. Another way of getting to the plot screen or page setup manager, you can click either one. Modify. So again, everything is set up. We just want to change the paper size. So in this case, we want to switch to tabloid. We want to keep it landscape. In this case, printing the layout, and again, the scale, we want it to be set as 1:1, because we want to make sure our viewport is the only thing that's taking care of scale. And we'll click OK and close. So now you can see we've got this drawing originally set up in our original viewport. We can resize the viewport. And again, just for the purpose of these exercises, just to show you, so we can highlight this viewport and let's make it smaller. Make these shapes smaller. Double click in, move these over into the corner, double click out, make these smaller. So now I'm going to type in viewport, and I'm going to make a single viewport, click OK, and I'll make another viewport for this portion of my virtual paper space layout. You'll see it'll open up, it'll automatically show everything that's in the drawing. And I'm going to quickly put this on viewport layer, and then I'm going to set a scale for that viewport. Again, 1/8 of an inch is probably going to be not adequate at this point, so I'm going to go 1/16 of an inch, 3/32 of an inch. Again, you can resize that, but that shows you how you can have multiple drawings. So you can have a drawing of the plan up here, and then you can have a drawing of these smaller drawings in, typical case details, and you can show them on the same drawing. You're just obviously putting on your paper that they are at a different scale. You have to identify what the scale is for each of those so it's not confusing to the reader.